Oh,
This
oh,
the
we
it
are live.
could be it. So, Will, I want to predecess this with um, Alan Lloyd from work.
Yeah, I know
He's
Alan Lloyd.
he's likely going to be on,
Okay.
and yeah. So I did spread the word to more, and you saw the email. So yeah, cool.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, yeah. And Lindsay seemed pretty excited about it. That she might end up watching just her husband's a drummer. So Will, you don't actually know this, I don't think completely. At work in our group, in the SCNI group, um, at work, there are four drummers in our effing group. Four fucking drummers.
Okay.
Typically, in my past, um, I was the only one.
Jorge is on the online.
Jorge. Jorge, thank you for joining. Oh my God. Yeah, this is good. We're just easing into it. We're getting all excited about the episode 18 ZZ Top. So, Jorge,
DZ
you're going to
Top.
learn all. Go ahead, Will.
DZ Top.
ZZ Top, episode 18. Um, Jorge's going to learn all about ZZ Top. Oh, man. They go way back. For the intro, I'll just jump into the intro. For the intro, I have to give. So I went to Earth Day Birthday Saturday, and I'm going to talk about that in the shoot the shit section. But one of the guys that went from ninth, 10th grade, Jeff Mattern, Jeff turned me on to ZZ Top. He really turned us all on to ZZ Top. So Jeff had come from very east Ohio, and it's where the rivers meet and stuff. And there's three. You'll appreciate this, Will. Three Rivers Stadium. It's a famous stadium. There's ball sports that's played there, and I'm not sure who, but at least one Major League Baseball team. But so he saw ZZ Top at Three Rivers Stadium. Then he moved to Kissimmee in 10th grade. It was actually 10th grade that we met Jeff at school, and we sat next to each other in English, Mr. Coburn's class, and he was a great teacher. But so Jeff, we became instant friends. He had longer hair, and I'm like, my brother has long hair, and long hair people are typically really fucking cool. And indeed, that was the case. And we became really, really great friends. And I brought him into the Eric fold, Eric and Jimmy and St. Clair and the whole bit. And Jeff just got processed into our group. And we've been friends since 10th grade. Saturday, fast forward Saturday, I went to Earth Day Birthday, and Jeff, it was the original crew minus Jimmy, who's out in Los Angeles and never comes back home. It was Jeff Mattern, Eric Niedenthal, Bill St. Clair, myself, and forgive me if I'm leaving one of them out. But Eric's brother Mark, and then Eric had 4 or 5 guys with him. So it was really cool. But so Jeff turned me on to ZZ Top. That is the connection, and I wouldn't be so amazed over them had it not been for Jeff. Cool.
Very nice.
So that's the intro.
You want to know a big introduction for me to ZZ Top?
Yes.
It was like, I want to say like, at the time I didn't know it was ZZ Top,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
but
Sure.
there was this NASCAR game I used to play
Mhm.
way back when in like 2008. There's this NASCAR game for the PlayStation, think it was like NASCAR 20 or something. Like I don't know. They'd been making them forever.
Mhm.
And Lagrange was the theme song for the game. Like when you would load up the game, it would play that.
Wow. And so Lagrange and Tush are really their two most popular songs. But you nailed it. Well, my gosh. Um, got to see them live in 1980, and I have the ticket stub. I'm going to show when we get into the feature portion of the show. I just really quick wanted to see who else joined. It's probably Mitch too. We got Jorge. We got Will Baglin. We got Mitchell Hines from all the way from Seattle. Mitch, thank you. He digs these things. Mitch, this is going to be particularly good because it's about ZZ Top. So, okay, I'll move on here. I don't see any others. I'm here. Hola, Jorge. Cool. All right, Jorge. Thank you. Typically, Natalie and Braden will join us later. They do their workout thing and their dinner thing, and so they pop on around 8 usually.
And their thing and all those things.
Yeah. So I'll go into the little housekeeping updates kind of thing. We took a break. We took a 1 week break 2 weeks ago, and Joey, our dear friend Joey, who we miss dearly, Will, that cube is not the same without that guy. Oh my God.
Fuck him.
These guys are like brothers. It's like Joey's the older brother and Will's the 20 something younger brother. Don't give any data away. Hey, Will, PII. You don't want to be specifics.
Joey.
Yeah. So, but Joey said, "Hey, you should treat it like you did 16 episodes. That you should call that season 1, and you took a break, and this is season 2." And I thought that was eloquent.
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 I would call this season 1.5. I don't think we've hit season 2 yet. This is like the
That's kind of true.
interlude.
I'm following the logic.
But yeah, we're in season 2 now, and season 2 is going to be jam packed with.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to be jam packed with more of, Phil?
Hmm.
Season 2 is going to be jam packed with more live performances. It's going to be less about bands in general and more about experiences that we go and see.
And will you say this because in May, what happens?
In May, we are going to see a lot of experience at
Yeah.
Rockville and Daytona.
Yes.
So,
oh my gosh. Yeah. So Rockville's coming up. It's like May 6th, 7th, 8th. Will's going Friday and Sunday. I'm just going Friday. And Will's going to see a couple of my, he's going to see 3 of my favorite bands. Will, you'll see 3 of my favorite bands. You'll see Sick Puppies, you'll see Static X, and you'll see Seven Dust. And they'll be on before it gets dark, and won't miss any of the headliners and stuff. It's going to be really neat, man. Very cool. So we do, yeah.
and today, so Phil named some of the bands that he wants to see. To name some of the bands that I will be seeing, I'll be seeing Foo Fighters, My Chemical Romance, The Offspring, A Day to Remember, Five Finger Death Punch, All Time Low. We'll see Zach Sabbath.
Zach Sabbath. see that. I won't see Zach Sabbath. Oh no, he's
You'll be there Friday.
okay. He's there Friday. Yeah, I forget. So what Zach Sabbath is it's Zach Wild, who was Ozzy's last guitarist for 20 years and approximately. And what eventually Ozzy came to rely on him. He couldn't really perform without him because Zach backed up his vocals. Zach Wild has a similar vocal range that Ozzy does. And so he had to have him as he got older for the backup stuff that sounded quite like Ozzy. So with certainly, of course, with Ozzy's permission, Zach Wild's been doing the Zach Sabbath thing for years, like 4 or 5 years or something. With Ozzy's total permission, he does all Black Sabbath covers in this heavy, heavy. Of course, Sabbath was heavy and darker in their own way, but let's say in a modern version of Black Sabbath, in your face, kind of the bands I saw Saturday, I Prevail, 3 Days Grace, that real power. It's all fucking power shit. But so Will, that's going to be exceptional. I've seen video. I sat there on a porch twice in the last 6 months and watched live, 45 minutes at a time watching Zach Sabbath. It's phenomenal. And he does all your favorites. Fairies wear boots, not just the big hits. Because all he's doing is Sabbath songs, so you're gonna get some deep tracks, and it's fabulous. So I dwelled on that. Yeah, it's gonna be neat.
I'm excited as hell. I am excited as hell for Daytona and Rockville.
Wow.
I went last year. It was a treat.
So Will went. I have not been. You went last year.
Yeah. It's
Incubus?
ginormous. Like there's just so much going on. Well, first of all,
it's in this Daytona Speedway. It's literally you go through the tunnels to get inside the Daytona Speedway like you're going to see a race. And there's 5 stages or something. And I'll let Will talk because he's been and I have not. But go ahead.
Yeah. So it's like the whole infield. It's ginormous, and they somehow fit a freaking like little carnival in there. They got like rides and shit. They have a Ferris wheel. Like it's super cool because there's more than it's a festival. Like there's the stages, but they have like vendor booths and foods and drinks and all different sorts of stuff. So like because it's an all day affair and more than likely you're not standing in front of a stage from 11 to 11.
Right.
So gotta take some time and get a beer and check out the death metal leather jackets and so just like a really cool environment, cool people. Like I didn't have any problems when I was there. Nobody was being like rowdy or anything like that. Like everybody was just enjoying the shows,
Yeah. But the theme of folks, Rockville coming up in early May. The theme is heavy bands, heavy effing bands. Sevendust, Static X. So, Will, because we mentioned that and we're going to see them, guess what shirt I wore? My Sevendust and Static X T-shirt all on one.
Where did you get that?
I got it at the concert that Brad Fried and I went to at the Orlando Fairgrounds 2 years ago.
Crap.
Yeah, it's the two lead singers.
That's dope.
Yeah, there you go. Static X, Sevendust. You're gonna see them both. Oh my gosh!
I know, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. Static X. I'm just gonna say, Static X, folks. If you ever get a chance, even if you're not into heavy rock, just stand in the back, go see Static X, stand in the back where it's not loud, and you will see a show that you will not believe. You would think you're in some, David Lynch sci-fi movie. It's fucking bizarre. It is so cool. There's 12-foot creatures, 13-foot creatures that lurk about, and the suits are blown up. There's some sort of air, and what you think you're seeing is a 13-foot tall creature. One of them's Frankenstein. One of them's some spacey space alien kind of thing. And there's more than those. It's unbelievable. And they time it for their set. Well, they time it when they come out. It's all choreographed, and they walk real slow because of these suits, these things. And, it's like seeing Cirque du Soleil, like Lanuba and Cirque du Soleil, like done in a rock performance. It's really amazing. It was one of the coolest things I've seen, but I'm really dwelling. So we should carry on.
Let's carry on.
Let's carry on about ZZ Top. So that was Earth Day birthday. I've already mentioned it. Real quick, I'll just say the bands that meant the most to me Saturday. I went to Earth Day birthday with Eric, Jeff, blah 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 blah. The Kissimmee Gang. At the beginning, it was the Pretty Wild, these two chicks from Vegas, and they call that music new rock. And new is spelled capital N-U, new rock.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different. I've seen that reference before, and they were the only band that I've ever seen that is the official title of new rock.
New rock. I didn't know there was a new word for new.
There's a new word for new.
Guess I'm out of the loop.
It's NU, new. Anyway, and then Sleep Theory, amazing, and then Mammoth, the band called Mammoth. What's so special about Mammoth? And this is going up the hierarchy to the headliner. And Mammoth is third from the headliner. Mammoth is Wolfgang Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen's son, Wolfgang. Most the people on that know that Wolfgang joined Van Halen as a bass player originally, and then eventually guitar when Eddie passed. And Wolfgang is a mofoer. he's unbelievable. His guitar playing, it's different than his dad's, but it's like very close and kind of good, like kind of almost as great, basically. And his vocals. So Wolfgang can sing. Like I was on the porch earlier, about an hour and 10 minutes ago, and I was listening to Mammoth because I just wanted to hear the guy's Wolfgang's voice. It was truly amazing. And then so after Mammoth, and it just got dark when they were on. It was light, and then it got dark during their set, and that's always a special time. If you ever go to these rock festivals, when it goes from light to dark, through it's a magical time. The lights have come on the stage when it's still light, and then as the sun goes down, the lights become more pronounced, and all the lights in the stage show feature stuff and backgrounds, and they all had the backgrounds with tons of fucking graphic visual shit coming at you. It was unreal. And that was Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's band. And then there was I Prevail, and then headliner was 3 Days Grace. I just want to say I'm just getting into 3 Days Grace because Eric said you have to. But the big takeaway for me, Will, was I Prevail. remember like the Sick Puppies that in 2016. I Prevail. That was my takeaway. Oh my God.
shit.
I Prevail.
Okay.
Totally amazing. Okay, I spent a lot of time on that. But that was the ticket. See any of those bands. They're all great. They're all so great. It was loud. What's cool about Earth Day Birthday is, and Rockville will be the same. Like with Earth Day Birthday, it's not as crowded as Rockville, so you can get closer, and you can get really close. And boy, when you get closer, it gets loud and loud. So I actually put in the little, I in the bathroom, you get the toilet tissue, and I make earplugs out of it. And I don't use them, in the clubs typically around town in Sanford, but there I did. I got close enough.
Preserve the rest of what's left.
Yeah. Yes, of the hearing. I'm sorry, I'm hogging the airwaves here.
Yeah, it's like I haven't even got a chance to get a fucking word in, this guy. No, but yeah, that's no. Phil's experiences are all super cool. I'm excited to dig into his ZZ Top background, and I'm excited to hear a little bit more about your Tangerine Bowl experience.
Gotcha. Live. Yeah.
Live.
Very cool. I showed my shirt. You got something cool on.
I've been wearing this almost it's like been my podcast shirt, this Motley Crue Dr. Feelgood shirt. I just so happen to be wearing it every time we come on the podcast. So,
just for reference, folks, I think like episode 14 of Close was Motley Crue and Poison, and that was a ball. That was a ball, man. And I had never listened to either of those bands a lot. Like I never had a record, never had a CD. But man, the hits are so great. They're a great band, and there's great players in both of those bands. And yeah, Motley. Will has a fondness for Motley Crue.
I do. I grew up listening to them. I always thought they were pretty badass dudes. Not the best role models, however, music was cool.
Correct. It was a great example of, hey, you got to see some of this so you know not what to do. All right, we'll leave it at that. Those guys rock, man. It's a miracle they're all still alive, especially Mick Mars and Motley. But yeah, totally amazing. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Last episode 17 with Stan Soloco, the local drummer, had huge audio problems. Don't know what to say about it other than it sucked, but we bared with it. He had a feedback loop. He had to use his phone as audio, and he had a feedback loop thing that we could not totally resolve. So, but we carried on. Will, so I don't think I told you this. I did not tell you this. So the story, the crazy takeaway story from Stan's interview. He was local in Brevard back in this goes back to the 60s. I said, Stan, when was this? He goes, it was like the late 60s. I'm like, oh my God. So it's way back because he's a good 10 years older than I am. He's like 74 or something, or 73 or something like that. So back whatever year it was, I want to say it was he told me it was 76. He remembered the year. I said, you remember the year? He goes, it was 1976. He finds himself in San Francisco, and they got hired at this hotel to be the lounge band. So they're doing like rock, in that year in 76 in a lounge at this pretty famous hotel that a lot of the performers stay at to do these music festivals in San Francisco. All true. And I had the name of the hotel. I don't have it in front of me now. It's on the other episode, but it is kind of an Asian Japanese name, Miyoko or something. Miyoko Hotel, and so they're the house band, and at this festival was Santana, Frank Zappa, and the Doobie Brothers. And he said they were all staying at the hotel that they were the house band in. He said he was there for a month. He was there for 4 weeks. This guy did cruises. One of the cruises, he said they were gone for almost a year and a half before he got home.
And
Unbelievable. So the audio was a problem, but you still grasp those stories. Oh my goodness. But so throughout this, like a weekend thing where these particular people were playing, Santana, Zappa, and Doobie Brothers, they would all trickle in and out of the lounge. And there was at least there were 2 instances where Michael McDonald from Doobie Brothers got up and sang with them, and he said the lead vocalist for Santana got up and sang with them.
that's crazy.
It's crazy. That was in the last episode, 17, with Stan Soloco, local drummer. I've seen Stan play around town since 89, 90, basically. And he's a fabulous drummer. Quick plug. He plays at Heidi's with the Ron Texero trio. He's the drummer for Ron Texero's house, and they're kind of the house band at Heidi's. If we were smart, we would find out if they're playing Friday and Saturday, and we should go see them. But wow, segue. Jeez. Okay, we got to get into.
Got to get into it.
We got to get into.
You got to get into that.
Right. We're good on time. 27.
We are good. We are good on time.
28 minutes. Very cool. We need to see when. I always like when Natalie and Braden show up. It's so fun. They're like, they should be like brother and sister.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's fun.
And me and Joey should be like divorced dads. I just hate the guy. It's like,
oh my god. Yeah. Housekeeping. Like and subscribe, and then
hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell.
If you hit the notification bell,
you'll see when we go live.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, and like and subscribe. Lindsay came into the cube today, and she said, "Hey, I subscribed today or the day before, or whatever. I subscribed to your channel." I said, "Oh my god, that's fantastic!" And I said, and you were there, and I said, "Wow, I don't even know how many people have subscribed. I haven't looked like in weeks and weeks." She was number 40, so we have 40 subscribers.
There we go. We're slowly but surely climbing.
Yeah. Joe Rogan shouldn't worry yet, but yeah.
I think you should. I think you should. I think you should, because next episode we're getting Jimmy Page on here. Next episode's gonna be fucking insane. Sorry to spoil the surprise, everybody. But next episode.
Wow. And I happen on Facebook. Well, turns out he's one of the 150 people on Facebook.
Right. Unfortunately.
Anyway, I have a connection with Jimmy Page on Facebook. Only that he's likely seen stuff I've written, but he's never responded. I'll just leave it at that.
He's a little busy in the recording studios and traveling the world and shit. So can you blame him?
Jimmy. Oh my gosh, that's it. Oh, well, mention the idea about like 20th episode and 25th episode, like being special and doing like bigger things.
Yeah. We're gonna
that.
try to do like episode milestones um and they might be like silly goofy, they might be different than what we normally do. I don't know, we'll see.
But I think one of the takeaways was do somebody big for those like 25th.
Yeah.
That would be like a big one, and it would likely be like Zeppelin. I'll just leave it at that. 20. I've been thinking about it. Well, I'll have to talk about it next week
Gonna talk about it offline, everybody.
offline. Yeah,
Just
have some ideas.
don't get your knickers in a twist.
Knickers in a twist. Hey, here's to knickers in a twist. Bill, we had an experience at work today. Our knickers were kind of in a twist for a bit.
A little bit.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Man.
but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
As the age-old famous saying goes, shit happens. And shit does happen.
It does. It does, and it did today at work. Oh man. Well, with that, I have to say, our bosses are freaking fan. I love them both. I love Mark. I love Amy. I do. They're
And
both.
Phil is not mandated to say that, by the way, folks. It's not in our contract. He doesn't have to say that stuff.
He
Just
is
so you
not.
know, he's not going against his will here. He's just saying it.
So hey, let's give a quick Artemis update, but I'll let you do it. But I just want to say the managers I've had out there, it's a space center. It's Kennedy Space Center. We're the contractor, the big contractor for NASA for Artemis and all the engineering support. And we're two of the engineers that work on this stuff. And it's wonderful. My God, it's been wonderful for decades for me.
For him.
Yeah.
Don't let me into that.
So the bosses are they're always fantastic because they got to walk that line from technical to managers where hey, this shit's not happening, fast enough typically. But Artemis 2 update will go
next week.
Wow.
Next week, Wednesday, expected launch date. If not Wednesday, then the launch window is open for the following 5 days after that, in which I think they have 4 attempts. So
I didn't even know that part about the attempts beyond Wednesday. Thank you.
Yeah. The launch window is open till from the 1st to the 6th.
So, folks, April, believe it or not, the planned launch day is April 1st at 12. I'm sorry, at 6:24. I think the window opens at 6:24 currently. That could change by a few seconds, but PM 6:24 p.m. on Wednesday.
What? How do I know you're not pulling a fast one on me? Maybe it's 6:24 a.m. and you're fucking me over. No, it's 6:24 p.m.
Oh my god.
Or is it? I don't know.
Well, maybe they're telling us 6:24 p.m. so that it keeps the crowd down. They're like, those son of bitches won't be there at 6 a.m.
Well, I think this whole thing is just a great big old plan from NASA to be like, if we don't launch on Wednesday, April Fools, we were fucking around the whole time. You know, we never intended to launch today. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh. That is priceless. That is priceless. Wow. So Mitch loves to hear about the space program. So when Mitch visited, so our buddy Mitch Hines, who's on from Seattle, and his wonderful wife Kim, they were down, and what occurred was we had talked, and he said for the first launch date, ended up getting scrubbed. He said like a week to go, I think it canceled. He said, "We're coming. We're gonna keep all the bookings, and we're gonna," because they hadn't been to Cocoa Beach in the East Coast of Florida, and they want to see St. Augustine also, which they did all of that. But so Mitch loves to hear about this stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
To Mitch.
Mitch and Kim. I got a little Pinot. Did the Pinot Noir tonight.
I'm doing Caribe, local company here in Florida.
Caribe.
And
yeah,
pineapple cider, and it's actually pretty freaking good.
I thought it was a regular beer. Pineapple.
No, it's a pineapple cider.
Damn. All right. Hey, if you still got a couple on ice, when the show's over, I'm gonna drive down to Palm Bay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, come on over. I think the door will be locked and I'll be asleep, but that's okay.
It's like 10 o'clock. Holy shit. That can't be Phil. Okay. We got to get into the source material here. This is the source material.
Okay.
On ZZ Top. Oh my god.
Is that what we're doing today? I wasn't sure.
I
had no idea.
Give me 1 second.
And Phil goes to fluster again.
No. It's just to clear the throat, and the mute button doesn't work on. The mute button works, but the way I have it hooked up, it doesn't mute the mic. But the mute button does work on the board. But anyway, give me a second. Had to clear the throat. I'm still getting over this sinus, lungs. A lot of people have it. I've noticed.
Right.
Around Central Florida. It's those spring breakers, motherfuckers. Like,
I could not be happier about spring break, actually.
Who lets them in anyway? I'm totally joking. I loved spring break back in the day. Will, did you spring break at all? Your friend Anthony comes up from Miami. They're there for the weekend, and it's spring break. And I'm like, certainly you blew it out at Cat 5 and the pier. And he's like, no. What the fuck?
We had our own spring break little tripperooski. So we didn't need Cat 5 in the pier.
Oh, yeah. The party came to you.
The party was us. We were spring break.
We were spring
break.
We need to write that down as a quote. That's classic, dude. That's insane. Okay, ZZ Top, getting serious. At the intro.
Now we're getting serious, guys. Now we're getting serious. We were unserious for the last 39 minutes. Now we're serious.
Right. At the intro, I mentioned Jeff Mattern, my dear friend, turned me on to ZZ Top. Back in 10th grade was 1978. So Jeff turned me on to ZZ Top in 1978. He turned me on to two bands. He turned me on to ZZ Top and Allman Brothers. But boy, we all, Eric, we all enjoyed we enjoyed ZZ Top a tad more because let's face it, they're two different things, right? True statement.
Eh, yeah, they are.
Okay. Had to get my little on pouch going there. Yeah. So Jeff had he had seen ZZ Top from in Ohio before he moved down. His brother took him. His older brother took him, just like my brother took me to all my first shows, always. And they like to do it. They like, hey, turn this little fucker on to some cool shit.
Because if you didn't know, Phil was lame as hell back then. Jesus.
He was 12. He was hell on wheels.
God. You needed some freaking culture back then.
So so Jeff totally turned us on. And it was the late 70s ZZ Top stuff. It was some of their best stuff. They were still pumping out. So when I went to UCF in 1980, DeGuelo, it's one of my favorite ZZ Top albums. Not the favorite, but it's third. And that came out in 1980 when I graduated from high school and went to UCF. And I'm listening to Guelo and Will, Park, my dear friend Park, drummer from Orlando, and we know each other since we were kids. Park had it too. And I want to say this is 1980. These are LPs. We're buying records. There was no. We were dubbing them to cassette, of course, in the 80s. We were putting them on cassette, and that was the typical format because you could take it in your car. You put it on cassette, well, so you can play it in your car with the Pioneer Super Tuner and the Craig, the two 6x8 Craig coaxials in the back. That combination, I'm here to tell you, that's magic in a fucking car. Oh my god. Derek taught me that. He had the same thing, so I just got what Derek had.
Nice.
Yeah. And really, it's two things. It's a Pioneer Super Tuner, and it's Craig speakers in the back. That was it. The Super Tuner itself was an amplifier. It had a built-in amp. I don't know what the wattage was, but 30 watts or something. But for a car, that's plenty.
Oh yeah.
But so I'm listening to DeGuelo in the car in 80, my Malibu, my kick-ass Malibu, sported out. And the sound system was typically it was considered like very good for its time. It wasn't Blaupunk. Blaupunk came out later, right turn after that period, and those got insane. But regardless, boy, am I dragging that out? Hey, you go, Phil. We need like a hand motion. Okay, I'll stop. But anyway, that was the introduction to ZZ Top. I think I'm supposed to go to. Isn't there like a sheet A reference on this?
Yeah, I'm looking at you today.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, jump to sheet A. Sorry. All right, guys. Sorry. So I do want to say, if anybody's interested in ZZ Top, and I know there's some fans, and Alan Lloyd will see this eventually, and other people at work that like ZZ Top. If you on YouTube look up Rick Beato, Beato's Beato, Rick Beato, Billy Gibbons interview. Just pull that up, and just start listening to that. Well, it's so I heard this 2 years ago, probably, and I remember it was great, but I kind of forgot all the details. So 2 nights ago, I sat and listened to the Rick Beato. Um, hang on. Okay, course correction. Can I make a correction? I'm totally incorrect here.
No, it's
Well,
against the rules. It's against the rules.
You can't correct. You got to go with the story.
Yeah, once
Oh my
you
gosh.
said it, it's fact. You know.
I know, but if we were like Wall Street Journal stuff, it'd be unethical to continue on when you know it's not right.
until the next story, yeah. It's only unethical for that one story.
Oh my God. Okay. It was not Rick Beato and Billy Gibbons. It was Mark Maron. Mark Maron, WTF podcast. And Mark Maron did his thing. He ended up with a total of 1,400 shows. And the Billy Gibbons interview, I think, is 504. So he had done it a while back. It's chronological with the number. He just stopped doing 2025. He announced, I'm not doing the podcast anymore. He had that he was one of the first podcasters, not the first, but he was one of the first back in 2012. And he was doing his podcast show, and then he got so big, relatively speaking, amongst music people and comedians, that he was getting really cool people to interview. You go to his house it's in LA, but it's like North LA, and they actually go to his house, and he does the podcast from his garage. So Billy Gibbons, the guitarist for ZZ Top, is sitting in Mark Maron's garage. Proceeds to tell this amazing journey. It's not a story; it's a fucking journey. So, so here's a reference that Jeff Mattern will get. If you're a ZZ Top fan, you've heard of a song called "Heard It on the X." It's one of my favorite ZZ Top songs, the early stuff. Will, same thing with ZZ Top as with most of these other older bands. All the early shit was the only shit and the best shit. The ballads that came later in the 90s doesn't count.
Right, sure. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
But Heard It on the X is this it's just killer. It's like LaGrange. Heard It on the X is kind of like a different version of LaGrange, really. Yeah. But different and equally as cool, equally as good. It's one of my favorites. And so during the interview with Mark Maron, WTF podcast, he explains, and actually Mark Maron brought it up. So Mark Maron is this huge music historian, and he can talk, especially guitar, because he plunks on guitar, he plays guitar. And so he loves guitars. And so when you have Billy Gibbons in his garage in North Los Angeles, he asked just the most pertinent questions. And one of them was, so it came about the song "Heard It on the X." I know, Will, I've heard that song since like 1978, and I never knew what it was about. I heard it on the X. I had no idea what that was. Never looked it up. No. So I looked it up, and basically I didn't look it up. They explain it during the interview. There was so ZZ Top are from Texas, and they oftentimes hung out near the border, probably playing in the Mexican border. And apparently, there's this famous. I looked it up, and it's in Wikipedia. There's this famous radio station called um, XERF, which is a strange call sign for radio station. Usually, it's like 3 letters. Actually, it's 4, WORJ. But anyway, instead of W, it's X. And because I think they were actually in the town in Mexico over the border, this radio station. And XERF was heard. I heard it on the X. Blew my mind.
So it was a Mexican radio station.
It was a great Mexican radio station on the Texas border, probably near El Paso or one of those places, Clarksville and all that shit. Brownsville. I tell you what, Will, if we went to Brownsville, Texas for like 3 days, we probably wouldn't come back. From what I've heard, I don't think we'd come back.
That's all you had to say? That's all you had to say? You said, well, if we went to this place for 3 days, we'd stay there.
Wow. But so that's the picture that's painted. It was AM 1570. It's 1570 on the AM dial. And it was XERF. I heard it on the X. I beg you to go when this is over, listen to Heard It on the X by ZZ Top. The studio version, all studio versions are the perfect versions, but occasionally there's gems on the live versions where you'll get some show from 82 or something, and they cook through like, Tush and Heard It on the X and songs off Degüello. And you just that's what I've been. Anyway, that's what I've been doing for about 2 days.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Fandango, which is the album.
Fandango.
Just a great album.
So ZZ Top, their first record was called Tres Hombres. Tres Hombres. And second album was Fandango. And Will, you nailed it. Because Fandango has 2 songs that are real super famous. And the first one had 2 or 3 songs that were famous. Like LaGrange, I think, was on the first one. It was on the first one. Yeah. Check them out. So, Will, what I did prepare, I'm not going to do it right this second, but I prepared a song a guy does in the studio, and he does, I think, Tush. He explains Tush in detail. He stops and explains it, and we're going to play that because we can't get busted for copyright infringement when I do that.
Here's hoping.
You can't on this one. There's no vocals. And the guy talks, the guitarist talks. The guy's amazing. Oh my God. And that stuff pops up. It's so cool. Those guys, man, it's amazing. And so, Will, I concluded, I kind of knew this subconsciously or deep down, that over the years, when I hear guitarists explain things, that there's always more than one way to play it. Always.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. And so some of these guys, like the guy we'll show here in a bit, and others, some of them want to try to duplicate it exactly, and they get hung up on that. And it's still great because it's like they try to get it perfect. And a lot of times I think they do get it perfect. From Eddie Van Halen. If you go on YouTube, man, you pull up Eddie Van Halen, like cover Eddie Van Halen cover guitar. You type that in, shit pops up. These guys play this stuff note for note a lot of times, and man, it's incredible. But I love those mainly because I just love to hear the guitar parts.
Right.
There's this obsession with the guitars and the guitar parts. Actually,
A drummer who loves guitars.
it's a drummer that loves guitars. But I have one right here, and I'm going to show it. I think I've shown it before, but I'm going to show it again because I love it. It's a Telecaster. It's a Fender Telecaster. Bam! It's Lee Gwill's, our dear friend Lee Gwill, who passed away. It's his. You remember me showing this, but
Yeah.
it's Lee's Telly. It's heavy. So here's the deal with guitars. Even though I'm a drummer, Telecasters are great, and most guitars love them, but they weigh 9 pounds. They're heavier than the Strats. There's some Les Pauls that are as heavy, but there's some Les Pauls that are not as heavy. Eventually, so picture Keith Richards playing. Eventually, he said, "This fucker's too heavy. I'm playing every fucking night." It's Keith Richards from the Stones. I'm playing every fucking night. I can't lug this bitch around, like, you know. And they would go to lighter guitars, literally weight wise lighter. That's true. That's true. It's the heaviest one I own. I own 3 or 4 of them, 3 or 4 guitars, but it's certainly the heaviest. I can imagine this, but go ahead.
9 pounds is pretty heavy for a guitar.
Yeah. But anyway, oh man, yeah. And again, I'll explain real quick. We're 56 minutes in. I need to forget that. Okay, let's talk about ZZ Top.
Let's get cooking.
Get cooking on the main frame. The main. All right, look at this. I will. This is a perfect time to show this. So I saw ZZ Top in 1980 and the Degüello tour is at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando. And I have the ticket stub. And I kept almost all of them. It was 1980, but however, you won't be able to tell it's 1980 because they always, with paper tickets, they would always tear an end off. They tore the end off with the date. But I'm here to tell you, I was with my high school girlfriend in 12th grade when I saw this, which means it had to have been in 1980. So I know it was 1980 because 2 of us went and we took a coworker from Best Western Hotel. Actually, it was Holiday Inn. I was working at the Holiday Inn as a busboy.
Oh, thanks. I could have got a free fucking room, but you decided to go be an engineer.
But it was 1980. So
I would have figured it out.
your dad was bopping around on big ships in the fucking military.
So here's the part of the episode where I'm gonna call Phil out because we all know that ticket stub has to be a fucking fake, right? You don't keep a ticket stub so nice from 1980, all right? He was at work today. He got a piece of copy paper. He printed it out, and he cut it just for the podcast. Can you guys believe this shit? He's a fucking faker, this guy.
Will actually saw the ticket today at work, and he was like,
did.
"Wow."
I did, and it is real. I take back everything I just said. It is a real ticket from 1980. We can only assume, since there's no real. Oh, actually, Phil, it says the date right on it. July 5th, 1980.
I was looking for it. Where?
Right in the middle.
Oh my god! I never looked in the middle. I was
Out
looking.
of all the places, you missed the middle.
Oh my gosh! I didn't look at the middle. I was looking at the writing on both sides, and then really over wherever that is, over on this side. Okay, there it is.
You missed the middle, bro.
It was a Tangerine Bowl, 1980, and the ticket was $12.50. But it was a Tangerine Bowl where it was the Rock Super Bowl deals they did in Orlando, and like I can't remember the bands that opened for that. I remember some of the bands that opened for like Fleetwood Mac or that opened for Aerosmith and stuff, but I don't remember the bands that opened. I would venture to say 38 Special played, possibly, possibly. And I saw these guys once, and it was early on. Um, it's a band that does Green Grass and High Tides. I can't remember their name. They were from Florida. They were from Gainesville, I think. And 38 Special was all Florida, Gainesville um, lineage. But
The
anyway.
Outlaws?
Yes, the Outlaws.
I
Yeah.
just looked it up.
Green Grass and High Tides, Outlaws. Wow. Oh my God. Phew. I haven't heard that name. I haven't heard that name in a long, long time.
Since July 5th, 1980.
Yes, it was summer. It was hotter than shit. Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. That's fantastic. Wow. So memory, I have to say, long-term memory, you don't necessarily lose it when you enter your 60s. There's still some stuff there.
Yeah, you retain something for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Hey, it's like the glasses. Phil, glasses are on your head. Phil, the date's right in the middle of the ticket.
Wait, yeah. 'Cause unfortunately, the date's not on the ticket. He puts the ticket up to the screen. The date's in the fucking smack dab middle.
And we talked about that at work about these stubs. You said on the back, like it says the same thing, and they just put the
Yeah, the name of the band changes.
about recording them.
It was like, I got this ticket stub, but I don't really know what band it was, but here you go. Like, bro, it says ZZ Top right across it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. This is that part of the night. We're up to 5 viewers. Well, this is cool.
Okay.
We probably have, I'm going to guess, we have Alan Lloyd from work, probably, maybe. We have Mitch Hines from Seattle. We have Jorge, our dear friend from work. Ladies, he's kind of, and I changed the description. Jorge is one of the most eligible bachelors in Central Florida.
One of the most.
One of the most.
He's not the most anymore.
In Central Florida.
Oh shit, Jorge, you got demoted there, buddy. That sucks. Hopefully, the same thing doesn't happen at work.
I'm thinking if there's anybody that looks like Christina, anybody that looks like Ronaldo or something could, and there's bound to be somebody that looks like Ronaldo in fucking Central Florida.
Or hey, what he's trying to say is you're good looking, but you're not that good looking. So calm down. That's what he's trying to say.
Joey has to see this.
You can bag a 6, but an 8 is almost out of your price range. That's what he's trying to say.
He commented with some memes. Joey has to hear this, and he'll love it.
Joey? Yeah, fuck
He'll
that
have
guy.
to hear this, and he'll love this part.
Fuck him. I'm tired. I'm tired. You know, for a guy who's never been on the podcast, he sure does get brought up a lot.
He's not even he's brought up all the time. Yeah, and he takes off to Daytona Beach for like a week, and we're like, "What the fuck? A week? You're almost 30. It's spring break. Never got his yayas out with spring break. He was like,
almost 30.
Oh wow!
Phil, wait, that was perfect. That was such a good. I almost want to write down that quote. You're going on spring break. You're almost 30. Come on, bro, hang it up.
Oh my gosh! This is be his favorite segment of this podcast.
Anyways, Jorge, you kind of suck. Joey really sucks. And we got 5 viewers, so thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you. Yeah,
We were talking about ZZ Top, but
we segue.
now I don't know what we are talking about. So if you came here to listen to us talk about ZZ Top, you're in the wrong episode. All right, go to the last one or the one before that, and maybe we talked about them once or twice.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is that part of the evening where you have to kind of talk and take over. I'll
Okay.
be gone for 2 minutes or minute and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I'll time you. Don't worry.
Thank you. And don't stare at my Static X 7 Dust shirt as I leave the premises.
Well, we segment of the podcast. I hope everybody's doing well, and I have some choice words for everyone. So recently, I've taken a little course in morale. So a lot of people go throughout their life, and sometimes we lose our footing, and sometimes it's a little difficult to move forward, and sometimes it's a little difficult to know what you're fighting for in a metaphorical sense. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't get any better. It only gets worse. It's going to continue to get worse. Um, but I don't know. It worked out for Phil, so hopefully it works out for the rest of us. And still, big fuck you to Joey Garcia. And I hope he sees that one. That one I meant. All the other ones might have been jokes, but that one I meant. So, but anyways, anywho, yeah, in a couple weeks here, we're like I said, we're right now we're talking bands, and we'll probably talk a couple more bands. But come May and probably past that, I plan on switching it up to where we're going to be talking about a lot more live shows and music that
Wow.
we are doing. So,
Dude, that is cool, and we could do that. We will. Lord, I've seen plenty in the last 3 weeks.
and there's more to come. So
There's more to come. So, Will, gosh, we're segueing, but I have to say this. Evanescence is coming in like early June, and they're playing Tampa, and they're playing West Palm Beach. And I'm here to tell you, Will, I'm going. They're the headliners. I'm going. Amy's going to be playing bass and doing the backup vocals. And I have to see. So one of the things that's occurred here in the last 3 weeks, approximately, the drummer for Evanescence is a guy named Will Hunt. Will Hunt. And I just completely freaking grabbed onto this guy's freaking. So he does. There's this thing on YouTube called.
what'd you grab onto?
I'm sorry.
You said you grabbed onto that guy. What'd you grab onto?
I just his playing.
Oh
gosh.
I was just making sure, Phil. I was making sure we're still swinging all the same way.
I got you. Well,
I got scared. I got nervous.
Honestly, if I had any of the Bud gene, he'd be the guy too. Man, this guy's fucking awesome. Hey, Will, him and Ronaldo. Oh my God!
Phil, you did not just say that on this fucking podcast. You did not just.
I did because I'm so comfortable in my sexuality. With my sexuality. You can say this when you're in your 60s. You're just more well-rounded.
Let's get back to ZZ Top, shall we? I think we've lost the scope here, man. I think we're working out of scope now. We're gonna need a new CWR for this one.
We went sideways, and we need a CD or a tier. We need authorization.
Yeah, we need authorization to proceed, and I think we should proceed to something else.
Guys, that's all fun reference. My dear brother, is a gay man, and I love him, and I've hung out with several of his long-term relationship people. Atlanta, Atlanta. I'd go up in '80 when I graduated from high school. I went up, and then when Zach's mom and I, and then Zach, we'd go up for the art festival and stuff, and go to the jazz festival, which we could walk to from his house. And man, I'm telling you, but Bud got that gene. Bud got those genes. So, little clarification.
Right, because we needed that.
And someday I'm going to interview Bud on here because Bud has seen the Beatles live in 1964 and he saw Jimi Hendrix live in 1966. So we have to have Bud on. We will. I got to have him on. He's my mentor. He gave me all my early albums. Bud's the reason that I'm obsessed with music. He really is.
He gave you class.
He did. I might take those off. I like the sound, man. Okay, back to ZZ Top. So we did a little clarification there. So in the Rick Beato interview, so back to ZZ Top, Dusty Hill on bass, and actually Dusty sang most of the really cool songs. Tush and there's another big one. But he did many big ones. Dusty Hill was the bass player. Billy Gibbons on guitar, and Frank Beard on drums. And so Dusty, in the Marc Maron interview, I'll be quoting this somewhat. Billy points out that Billy and Dusty had the long beards. The guitarist and bass had the long beards with all the videos and the spinning guitar shit and all the different stuff over the years and MTV. Billy points out that Frank Beard, his last name is Beard, spelled just like a beard, was the only one in the band that didn't have a beard. It's classic. And I think after a while they stuck with that idea, and it was a thing. It was a thing, man. It was. Frank Beard. I'll just describe these players briefly. Frank Beard on drums in those early ZZ Top records. Man, I couldn't name you a better rock and roll drummer than Frank Beard from ZZ Top. I could not name one. I could not, because the others are from Britain, and that shit's different. Billy Gibbons. So what occurred? So he describes how they met. And then there's a story that Billy tells, separate from that I'll describe, before they formed ZZ Top. But Billy said he knew Frank, the drummer, back in bands in like 69 and 70, and or it might have been earlier than that, 68, 69 probably time frame. Um, he knew Frank. They were all from Texas. Austin was big. Houston had recording studios, but Austin was always Austin. People go to Austin, Texas, and listen to music. I'm here to tell you, I did it twice. Just go do it. It changes your life musically, it totally does. But these guys came from there and bopped around to gig, back in these 68, 69 time frame. He knew Frank, so they got together, and it was and Frank's bass player was Dusty Hill, and they got together, and I kind of can almost quote this verbatim. They get together. He said, "We started. Will, you love this? We started with a shuffle, like a Texas shuffle, the rock shuffle. We started with a shuffle, and he said 3 hours later we pulled it to the curb, and that was their first get together, playing together, the three of them.
Oh,
And they said, and they go, we're gonna form a band, and it was ZZ Top. That was their start.
fucking cool.
It was the incubation of the band, and this was told by Billy Gibbons on the Mark Maron podcast. You can listen to it. It's the actual guy to saying the story, so none of this is made up. But so, and then he said instantly, like, we were interested in recording it, so they wrote some songs together and recorded Tres Hombres. And that's how it started. That was recorded in Houston, but every record after Tres Hombres was recorded in Nashville. So he said they knew some, the record execs and stuff start connecting dots, and hey, go to Nashville, and there's great recording studios there, and your guy's sound is this Texas rock, Texas rock blues sound. Go to Nashville. So they went to Nashville, and every album after Tres Hombres, their first one, was recorded in Nashville. Yeah, it's all in this interview. It's truly amazing.
So, wait, did you already talk about the Rock Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ticket in 80. My gosh. What one of the takeaways? Well, I'm glad you brought it back up. I think somebody had mentioned before we went. It's probably Jeff. It was Jeff, because he was the only one of us that had seen them before. He said, "Hey, check them out. Check Dusty and Billy out. They do this thing together, so they'll get like a foot from each other or 2 feet from each other, and they're on stage, and they do this like kind of this together bop thing as they're playing, like in rhythm." And that was one of their little trademark things they did. And sure enough, man, they did it all night. They did it all night in July of 1980. Or I say all night. They're not in that position, but they're moving around as well. But my God, the sound, I recall that the sound was some of the best sound I had ever heard until that moment and that point. It was there because it's a trio, and they don't have a ton of effects. They have effects, pedals and stuff, old school pedals. It wasn't the pedal boards. The pedal boards weren't even invented back then. They'd have a wah-wah and a fuzz and an amp that did the shit they wanted. And so there were, relatively speaking, minimal effects. But man, it was loud as shit. But it was clear. It was crystal clear and loud. And that's how I like my music.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, you got a takeaway on that one because you tried to do that with some other shows I've seen and some of the details evade me. That one I remember, man. It was so memorable. Gosh, yeah, it was incredible. But so and that's when I saw him live. So I mentioned when they met and how they met there through Frank Beard. Um, so so on this Mark Maron interview, this to me was the most special content of the whole thing. Um, Billy Gibbons is in a band called Moving Sidewalks. Moving Sidewalks. Never heard of them, and none of us have. And it preceded ZZ Top, so he hadn't joined ZZ Top yet. Moving Sidewalks gets a call from the agent for Jimi Hendrix and said, and this is probably 67, is before ZZ Top, gets a call, and that's 67, 66, and 67 were years that Jimi Hendrix was touring the US. They get a call and they say, we want you guys to open for Jimi Hendrix. So Billy and his band, Moving Sidewalks, flies and they plug into this, what's going to be this small tour. And Billy Gibbons is the guitarist for ZZ Top, and all those great leads. Billy, oh my goodness gracious, those leads, all that, everything you hear, every song has a lead, and all those ones. That man, just go listen to some of that. Fandango and Tres Hombres. Let's go put them on. Check it out. So Billy, and I wrote the ages down. Billy Gibbons was 18 at the time he did this. Jimmy was 24. And
Oh wow. Damn.
yeah. So Jimmy's the elder, and he's Jimi Hendrix. And they had the Experience record. It was Jimi Hendrix and the Experience that was doing this tour. Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding is the Experience for Jimi Hendrix. So Billy, they would get rooms together in the hotels, like close together as they could, and Billy said there were just many nights where he was hanging with Jimmy in his room or in Billy's room, and they had their guitars and they had little champ amps, little small amps, and they were figuring shit out, and basically Jimmy was teaching Billy, because it was Hendrix. And one little side story is Jeff Beck, one of my favorite guitarists on the planet ever, and one of my favorites ever, favorite musician almost ever. Jeff Beck was putting out the early Jeff Beck stuff. Jimmy was obsessed about that, and they would get the record and they would have a record player in the room, and they were sitting there trying to figure out Jeff Beck parts.
That's so funny.
Jimi Hendrix is trying to figure out Jeff Beck parts. It's like, how the fuck does he do that? And it's Hendrix. Oh my God. So that was the Hendrix piece there. Truly amazing. So Billy hung out, he said, during the day, and he said he's just the sweetest guy, soft-spoken, do breakfast, hang out. But then at night after the shows, Hendrix came alive. And I want to say, we've got to go on record because this is on the record. It's in the archives. Hendrix is really into acid. And Billy said, wow. He said, some of these times in the room with the two of them, they were doing acid while they were trying to figure out Jeff Beck stuff.
Very interesting. A little tidbit.
It's a tidbit, and Billy tells the whole story on that interview. So check it out. It's really cool. And that was kind of it for that those details.
Okay. You want to play that clip?
We're gonna play a clip. Hey, we're down to one, so I think we should celebrate. Oh my god, I'll stop. But oh my god, that's funny. They'll come back. Yeah, and it doesn't matter because most people see it afterwards.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the early episodes had like 60 views, so they do see it after.
Garbage away.
Do you want to get another one?
I'll probably kill it.
I don't know what that means.
I just meant I'll stop.
Oh my gosh. I'm still getting over this tail end of a respiratory science respiratory. It's a bitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
interested in hearing that clip.
He's back. How about me? Instead of talking, I just like shut. It was Will. To this day, one of the classics is, is I'd interviewed Carolyn Willis, local musician, and I explained to her. I said, Carolyn, this is a time where it was like an hour in. I'm like, Carolyn, this is a time where I have to go to the restroom. If you would, please talk. Plug your shows and stuff. So I left, and she plugged her stuff because she was playing that weekend, and said, "Hey, Friday we're going to be here. Saturday we're going to be at Hunker Down and whatnot." But after she said that, she just stopped talking. It was radio silence there for just like 30 or 40 seconds, 30 seconds. But she was great. Oh my God, that was fun. She loved it. Just so you know, here's a local plug for music locally. Carolyn's band Dawn Patrol. They will. I've got to. We've got to go. We've got to see them. And one of the reasons is she announced about 5 weeks ago. She's like, "Hey, we've been working on new songs, and we're going to be playing some new songs. They're all covers. They're all songs you've heard. Covers. They do a great job. They do a fucking great job. Do a great job. That guitarist, man. Guess where the guitarist is from? Well, Miami.
Oh, cool.
He's from Miami. That guy. Oh my goodness gracious! If you want to see your guitarist, go see Dawn Patrol and watch their guitarist. The guy's incredible. He's great. But I forget where I was going with that. But I think we can move on to ZZ Top now. But anyway.
Okay.
So we heard the story of the band's beginning. I'll just say my favorite albums from them were Tres Hombres, the first one, Fandango, the second one, and Deguelo. That I think it was like their fourth or fifth album. Might have been fourth. It was fourth or fifth. I'm not sure. Those are my favorites, and I saw the Deguelo tour. So consequently, it's another reason why it was one of my favorites.
That's freaking cool.
They toured. You'd have to look it up. I didn't even look it up. They toured relentlessly. These guys, they did 10 studio albums over 35 years, close to 40. They toured relentlessly. Those guys were insane. Yeah.
Big height for a band to tour like that.
It is. I would like to hear. I half wanted to get Jeff on and say, "Hey, tell us about the the Three Rivers Stadium show that he saw very early on. But I didn't. But I would love to hear. Yeah, Will, if we were like bigger and like, hey, callers, call in. Anybody that's seen ZZ Top, call in and get their perspective. That'd be cool.
I
It would.
was a little too out of time for them, so wouldn't have seen them live
Yeah.
back in the glory days.
So that's it. And let me play this little. I'd say that's it, but let me play that little bit there. This is
Let's do it.
yeah. If I can find the speaker, I brought it in here. Okay. I gotta go find the speaker. I brought it in, but it is not here. Give me 1 second. Will, can you give me 3 steps? Give me 3.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. But I'm telling you right now, Phil, it's not fun staring straight down a 44.
Let me find this damn thing. I had it in here. What the? All right, hang on. Well, you got to say something.
So while Phil finds a speaker, I'll provide everybody that's watching this either live or past the fact with a fun fact. Artemis, which is the rocket that we provide engineering ground services to over at Kennedy Space Center, is the most powerful rocket as it stands right now that is operable. Starship technically produces more thrust, however, it has not gotten into orbit. So that, Mr. Musk. But enough about space facts. Those are boring. What's another cool fact? Fact of the matter is, it is 8:34 and it's getting close to my bedtime. So Phil knows I get cranky. I'm just getting close to my bedtime. Come on, Phil. But anyways, I'm just kidding. My bedtime already passed. Bedtime's at 8 p.m. sharp. Yeah, Phil didn't provide too many notes today, but I think it's because he had a lot coming off the dome, which is great. You know, Phil, like you said, he retains a lot. He's retained a lot, and it's honestly pretty impressive the amount of knowledge that he is able to contain. Oh, and there he is.
I found it. I said it on the lights are very important. It was in some dark spot. I walked by it twice.
They can be, yeah.
I walked by it twice. I'm like, what can you do? So cool. You were explaining Artemis and how awesome that's going to be.
Yeah. And I said a couple other choice things that you can watch back later.
Can't wait. Truly, this thing is incredible out there. It's at the pad. It's powered up electrically. Our ECS environmental control system is purging the shit out of the thing. Those guys. So once that starts happening and they're out there and the thing gets powered up electrically, our purge air stuff starts, and it doesn't stop. Those guys are there, and the electrical guys, Joe's brother and that group, all those guys that were providing like electrical and controls and cooling, which is our system.
Around the clock.
24/7, for days and days and days and days and days. Yeah.
Until eventually it's up in the sky.
And then Wednesday at 6:24 p.m.
AM. AM, not PM. AM.
8. He's Josh in there, but it's 6:24 p.m. and we're all like, we spent some amount of time today talking about what our strategies were for working.
That is true. That is true.
So, Will, what's going to happen? We're going to get kicked out of our building. So, OSB 2, which is right across the street from the VAB, literally across the street from the VAB, we're going to get, it's going to be closed because the vice president's coming to watch the launch. So,
Yeah, we don't know all that though. They
yeah.
don't care about us. They hate us. The president is to NASA as I'm to Joey. They hate us.
As you are to ECS. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Okay, it's kind of the end of the show. That's fabulous, and we have to plug this thing. It's amazing. We're going to launch 4 human beings, four guys and ladies, to the moon, and they're going to orbit the moon. And we will the dark side of the moon thing. We went in a whole little discussion about it. That they're going to see the dark, but the Apollo guys certainly did because the Apollo guys orbited the moon before the lunar module disconnects from the surface module and landed on the moon.
Yeah.
So they had to have seen it. They saw it too.
Right, but they didn't. I don't think they didn't land on that side of the moon.
Oh, no,
planning on doing that. You want to land over there on the dark, well, they call it from Earth, the far side of the moon.
Far, you're right. Technically, it's far side of the moon. They certainly landed, and we all see the pictures, and in the bright light of sun for visual, so you can see. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay, I have this. I have it. Boom. Here it is. Cool.
Let's play it, man.
Okay, so we'll get back to ZZ Top, and this is kind of the last little finale.
Yes, it is.
It's a guy that he's a guitar guy, and he breaks down the song Tush. I'm just looking for some Tush. That song. It looks like, and you can never see that whole thing, but it looks like that. Okay, and I had a marker on where to start. 145, 125. Start at 125, and you'll hear. And this guy explains.
This is 7.
He also tells some pretty cool little tidbits and facts about them and about Billy. Okay. It's really cool. It's cool as shit. I was out on the porch. I pulled this up at like 5:45 and found it, and I said, I'm going to play that.
Okay.
Because we can't get busted.
Let's do it.
Okay. And he's got, like I said, he's got a little knowledge. Let me do it like that so I can. Okay, we got a commercial. There it is. Okay. Where was it? 125. Okay, here we go. This is really cool.
It was a cool project. One I will never do again, but I'm glad that I did it. Anyways, Billy Gibbons, ZZ Top, Tush, great song, 3 chords. That's all you need. I heard a story once. Billy Gibbons called Eric Clapton on the phone, that he calls him every once in a while and says, "Hey, Eric." And he's like, "Yeah, Billy." He's like, "Have you found the 4th chord yet?" And Eric's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, I'm just checking." Billy's got such a good sense of humor. My friend Todd Zilla, down at Tone Central Station in Nashville, Tennessee, actually knows Billy, and Billy carries a business card around that says Billy Gibbons on it, and it says personal friend of Eric Clapton on the card.
Wow.
Good stuff, good stuff. Anyways, let's talk about Tush. Tush is in the key of G, and from what I have heard, ZZ Top played this in standard tuning live and on the record. So it's a G, it's a C, and it's a D. And it's your basic 1-4-5 blues with a slide guitar part. So I'm going to show you kind of, you know, what Billy does in this song, especially what he does live. He puts a lot of swing into it. I love Texas Shuffle, and I'm going to give you some tips on soloing with the slide and also without, okay, and some cool turnaround stuff.
Here's the guy.
So let's take a look at this intro. Cool. So Billy from, you know, every time I see this guy, it's like every time I see a live video, he does some new thing with his songs. I guess he's played the blues for so many decades that he knows it inside and out. And it's like wearing an old pair of jeans. He just throws on another pair of jeans every couple of weeks, you know, and wears them out and puts on another pair, and he plays his guitar like that, you know, whatever strikes his fancy. So I'm gonna kind of delve into that territory today, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. So what I'm saying is, this is how I've seen him play it, you know, most of the time. So we'll put, instead of going like this, I'm gonna put my thumb on the 3rd fret, and we're gonna do this shape, which is, you know, any guitar teacher that teaches you early on in life says never put your thumb around the neck. Well, most all of the greats play with their thumb over the neck.
Go figure.
To this lick, I'm hitting this G, and I'm gonna go.
That's hilarious.
I'm doing these double stops on the D and G string on the 5th fret and the 3rd fret. I'm gonna alternate this G in between these double stops, so it sounds like this slowly. Quickly, it sounds. Maybe a little slide. All right, so once again.
Slows it down, shows the guitars how to do it. Badass.
Now, there are no rules, so you could play it like this.
Hang on for a second.
You can put your index finger here. Honestly, that's what.
One of the things you said there are no rules. And typically with these things, they're interpreting what the guy actually played. And there's many thousands of occurrences where guitarists say, this is the tablature and this is what I played. So that it's like, no. But oftentimes these guys, this guy, he mentioned that he plays out, and obviously he would have to play out, where you figure it out and you get as close as possible. I think I remember Bud doing that back in Jacksonville, and many guitarists in between. So anyway, I'll stop. But yeah, this guy's great. I subscribed to him. I saw this before the show.
I do live, but there's this cool thing I'm going to show you in a minute that Billy does with his thumb that you'll probably dig. So we'll play it like Billy. Then we're going to go to this C chord. All right, so there's a C5, but we're going to do this shuffle, which goes. Okay, so what I'm doing there is this typical blues thing that most of you probably already know, but we're going to go. So the stretch on this is kind of killer if you're not used to it.
That's like Alan.
All right, you can do. You can play this whole song like this if you wanted to, but Billy changes it up. So on this 4 chord, back to the C. He does that, and he goes. I see him play it live, and he goes back up to this G chromatically, but he does it with his thumb a lot of times.
Wow. Gets that dirty sound with that thumb.
Next time he comes around that G, he goes. And then this, let me go back. I don't want to go too quickly here, but back to the C. Wow. All right, so that's how we're going to turn around. So from the very beginning, we're going.
I said, Lord, take me downtown.
All right, now that's kind of like the record, but live, in variations on the record, he might do this. Watch this.
Wow.
So I did there on that turnaround was I played this D.
Rose D.
For that note in there. it's
I love
like
this.
a D dominant 7. And then play a C dominant 7. So basically, if you take a C7 shape like this, but move it up here. You can play it with just these top 3 strings, or these. You can play the whole thing in the middle 4 string, and then do a C7, and then back to G.
C7.
And then do this 5, 6.
C7. So when he's doing that, the colors that come out in the music when they play 5ths and 7ths and stuff, it's insane. And the bands that we saw Saturday, they do that a lot, but it's in a different context. And these guys are great players and they're great guitarists. And man, when you hear that like at volume at a festival, well, you know, it's magic. It's magic. Yeah, it is magic.
Just fucking around with you.
It is magic. It's amazing. Go see it. The old adage, and you're only into music so much, right? You can only be into it so much as a listener, and like, hey, am I actually going to go see a concert?
Right.
But typically when you do, it's just it's just great. Whether it's whether it's down south here. What's shit? I don't even know. BCC. What? I remember the venue down south that I've been to about 6 or 7 times. The concert hall down there locally there in Melbourne, the old BCC. But man, I lost my main point there. It
may never be found.
What's that?
It may never be found.
I know. But when they like, yeah, there's just no good music out there. That's one of the things in the last 20 years. There's no good music out there. Bullshit. Go to a club and go to a show. There's some great music out there. That's my takeaway.
I do agree with that. I do actually agree with that.
Yeah. For example, Pierce the Veil that Will took me to. Opened my eyes. So Will, I put Pierce the Veil on the same level as Static X. as far as what I saw and
Oh,
what I heard. It was equal. It was just different. And
nice.
I so I'm gonna we're probably gonna end this soon, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on the porch and listen to Pastor Nirvana.
Okay, sounds good. I might dig into some ZZ Top now. In the mood.
That's my go-to. ZZ Top. Just check out a little bit of the early stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it was fun, Phil. I think I'll
Wow.
head it off here.
Hey, Jorge's last comment.
Yeah, I see. Not sure what you were doing
Jorge,
at that time, but
what? Jorge writes, "What is Phil doing?" All right. Well, he gets the last shout out, and there's Mitch. Mitch, love you, brother. Guys at work, and Joey. I miss Joey. This son of a bitch has been gone for like a week, and it's like you lost your son. He went off to fucking war, and
right. No, I agree. I agree. Fuck him.
well, I think this was a doozy. I would compare it to the Van Halen episode. I thought was one of the more special ones.
Did that one stay up? I think it did.
Oh yeah, yeah. We only lost two. We lost um um
Fleetwood and Dave.
Fleetwood and Dave. We lost Fleetwood Mac and Dave Bendig. Those are the only two.
All
And
right.
I checked since, and one of the things I do the next day at work, I check my email frequently because when you get the takedown notice, the block, it happens about noon the next day.
Here's hoping.
There's a
We'll look out for noon tomorrow.
there's a pattern.
But
The beauty is if you see it before noon, you can still see it.
yeah,
If you're not.
but all right. I'll bop on out of here then.
Most fun. Go your teams. You're gonna go down south. So the show's over, but I'm just catching up on his life.
Friday.
There's a first game.
Opening day for baseball.
Wow.
Nothing more American than that.
And you're gonna see what?
The Miami Marlins.
Wow. And in the Marlins Stadium in Miami.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
Because you're from Miami.
Fortunately. No, yeah. It should be cool.
Wow. Super fun. Love this episode. We'll chat again, brother.
Okay. I'll talk to you.
All right. All right. Adios. Adios, muchachos.